Hey guys, welcome to Vlogtober Day 8. Today I'm going to be talking about the best Halloween video games. Now, it's not like the best video games ever made, it's just like the best video games to get you in the Halloween spirit. There are tons of awesome video games out here. This is just my personal list. I'm also going to add in the description box below a couple of honorable mentions that didn't get to quite be in the countdown. I also want to mention how the videos are not in the order from the best to the worst. They're kind of just all out there. I just made a random list, so it's not like the first one is the top and the 10th one is the worst. It's just all over the place. Alright, so the first one I'm going to talk about is Silent Hill 2. I've never played Silent Hill 1, but I have read up on it and I heard it's a pretty good game, but Silent Hill 2 is by far a game that a lot of people enjoy, and especially me. I really freaking enjoy it. It's pretty awesome. I like the way it starts off and how you have to solve puzzles, all these things. I'm just kind of one of those girls that likes all that kind of stuff, and even though it takes 900 hours to get past it and you kind of have to go online and cheat and stuff sometimes, I just love it. I love Silent Hill 2, and if you've never played the game, try it. The graphics aren't that bad. I mean, it's an older game, but honestly the graphics aren't that bad. It's played in third person view, but it's still really cool, and it's scary. It's really scary. Next I'm going to talk about Minecraft. Now, I know a lot of people are like, Minecraft, Halloween, but the Minecraft Halloween texture pack is really pretty fun. The way they changed the color scheme of everything and how ice is kind of purple as well as water, how the sky is kind of a deep orange, and how the moon is kind of like in a skull form. I just thought the whole way they packaged the Halloween texture pack was really fun, and it actually gets you into the Halloween spirit. Also, if you have any downloadable map packs or whatever, or if you went online and you downloaded some maps, they have some really unique and creative Halloween themed style packs out there, so definitely look for them. One of my all-time favorite games is Alan Wake. It's really great. I love the way the storyline is. It's based about a guy who goes to a town to start writing on his book, and just while he's getting the process of writing, I don't want to give too much away, but while he's getting into the process of writing this book, there are a lot of twists and turns in it that just make it really interesting, and it's actually pretty scary. It's not as scary as Silent Hill 2, I would say, but it is pretty scary. It has those creepy factors, and if you're playing alone with the lights off, it sets the perfect mood. Silent Hill 4, The Room. I have a lot of Silent Hills on this list, basically because they're really awesome. I am a huge Silent Hill fan, but Silent Hill 4, The Room really did a great job. A lot of the Silent Hills, after the second one, they kind of started going downhill a little tiny bit with each one that they released after the second one. They kind of lost their flair a little bit, but with Silent Hill 4, I feel like they did a really good job. You're basically this guy who lives in an apartment, and you're stuck in your room. That's all I'm gonna give you. You're stuck in your room, and crazy things happen. Crazy things. You probably think it sounds boring considering you're just in your room the whole time, but trust me, a lot of twists and turns happen. You kind of escape your room for a second. A lot of things are awesome, and if you haven't tried it out, definitely try it out. I'm going to take it back a little to a game that came out probably either when I was a little baby or before I was born, but it's Resident Evil 2, and growing up I actually played this game and it was really fun. The graphics not all that great considering they came out in the 90s, but it's a really fun game. The storyline makes up for what the graphics are lacking in. Plus, the Resident Evil franchise has always been something that is just an awesome type franchise, and Resident Evil 2 really hit it with how great the storyline was. It is scary. There are some jump scares and all that stuff. The monsters are really creepy. Everything is just awesome, and you also get to play as two characters. You can play as the girl, Claire, you could play as Leon. One of my favorite games growing up playing on the GameCube is Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion is so freaking fun. I've done actually a gameplay on Joey's channel, Species.tv. I'll post the link in the description of his channel. He doesn't really go on it much, but if you want to see, there are a couple videos of me and him playing together and stuff, and one of them is the Luigi's Mansion like walkthrough playthrough that we did together, and it's so fun. That game, it's kind of kiddish. It's definitely like, it's kind of like a Resident Evil for kids, honestly. It's so fun. There are a lot of cool elements to it, a lot of cool puzzles, a cute little storyline. Luigi has to save his brother Mario, and who doesn't like the Mario brothers? Everyone does. So it's really cool because you never do get to play as Luigi, and this game is solely based on just Luigi and his crazy adventure in this haunted mansion. It's really fun.
Hello?
Next on my list is The Last of Us. Now, a lot of people may debate on whether it's a scary game or not, but it does have the theme of like apocalyptic, it's creepiness, it's what if the world ended, that kind of scary. It's more on a mental level kind of scary, like what would you do in that situation? The storyline is amazing. It will have you emotional, it will have you excited. Everything about the game The Last of Us is just awesome. I can go on forever and ever and fangirl about it, but The Last of Us is one of those games that you just never forget. A game that's not as popular but equally as fun is Alice Madness. Alice Madness Returns is a really fun game. It's pretty creepy and there's a lot of darkness. It's definitely Halloween themed. I like how they took a dark spin on the fairy tale Alice in Wonderland. It's definitely dark and creepy and definitely not for children, but it's really fun. Plus you get to dress up Alice in all these different costumes, so it kind of appeals to your girly side in some ways too. Walking Dead series. Now don't get this game confused for the actual series on television. It's completely different. It's kind of the same theme where there's an apocalyptic type theme where the whole entire world is overrun by zombies. So those two things stay the same, but the stories are completely different. I've seen the Walking Dead show, and anyone who watches that show knows how awesome it is. So anyone who knows about that show knows how freaking amazing the Walking Dead show is. Now imagine putting all the awesome story aspect and how great the story writers are into a video game where you get to choose every single step that your character makes. The cool thing about this game is that every choice that you make in the game will affect the outcome of the ending of the game. So you really have to be on your game with picking the right choices and what you would do in this situation. It's kind of like putting yourself in the character's shoes, and it really gets you immersed in the world. You get really connected with all of the different types of characters. When you lose any one of the characters, you feel like in yourself, you feel like sad. It's really great how they tie everything together and make you feel really connected with every single aspect of the game.
So did he do it?
They caught the fucker red-handed, stabbing his wife, cutting her up as the boys came through the door. He sits in my car screaming bloody murder that it wasn't him. I think he actually believed it himself. It goes to show, people will up and go mad when they believe their life is over. I got another good one for you. This one's a little bit less depressing and a bit more hilarious, if I do say so.
Watch out!
This other time...
going to talk about is Silent Hills PT, the playable teaser trailer thing for the new upcoming Silent Hills games. Now, that is one of the scariest demos I have ever watched being played. I watched my dad play it, and it was so scary. We were all just like, ah! So I can imagine how the actual game is going to be. This, I would have to say, is one of the scariest games that I've watched in a long time. I didn't actually play it, but I've watched it being played, and it's one of the scariest things I have seen in a while. It really immerses you in it, and it's just the unknown of it. It's not really like a monster pop-up here and there kind of video game, but it just immerses you into the game to the point where it just plays with your mind. You keep thinking, oh, is something crazy gonna happen right now? Or when is it gonna happen? What am I supposed to do? All these different things. It's pretty hard, I would say. It's really hard to actually beat. We had to look up online like crazy ways to finish it, because the only way you can see the trailer is if you finish it or if you cheat and you go on YouTube. It was just a really fun game, because especially if you play with a lot of people and you have that one person in the group that's really kind of a chicken, it makes everything awesome.
We regret to report the murder of a wife and her 2 children by their husband and father. The father purchased the rifle used in the crime at his local gun store 2 days earlier. This brutal killing took place while the family was gathered at home on a Sunday afternoon. The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car, retrieved the rifle, and shot his wife as she was cleaning up the kitchen after lunch. When his 10-year-old son came to investigate the commotion, the father shot him too. His 6-year-old daughter had the good sense to hide in the bathroom, but reports suggest he lured her out by telling her it was just a game. The girl was found shot once in the chest from point-blank range. The mother, who he shot in the stomach, was pregnant at the time. Police arriving on scene after neighbors called 911 found the father in his car listening to the radio. Several days before the murders, neighbors say they heard the father repeating a sequence of numbers in a loud voice. They said it was like he was chanting some strange spell. There was another family shot to death in the same state last month, and in December last year, a man used a rifle and meat cleaver to murder his entire family. In each case, the perpetrators were fathers. State police say this string of domestic homicides appears unrelated, though it could be part of a larger trend such as employment, child care, and other social issues facing the average family.
So I definitely hope you guys like this countdown and the games that I mentioned in it. If you haven't tried any of these games, I really suggest it. It's really, really fun. I don't know if you can still get Resident Evil 2, but if you search online, I'm sure you can find it. It's a really awesome game. All of these games are really fun, and there are some cool honorable mentions down below in the description box. I also have some social sites down there that you can follow me on, so don't forget to check that out. Also, if you click right here, you can view my previous video in Vlogtober. Come back every single day in October to see a new video. Bye guys!